Good evening. It is April 1st, and tonight we are going to be reading Deuteronomy 18:1 through 2020, Luke 9:28 through 50, Psalms 71 1 through 28, and Proverbs 12:10. Like we try to do every single evening, we say the Lord's Prayer to get started. So if you don't mind, join in with me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. Oh, my studio is a little different. I got found the how to end it up top. I've been looking forever. Something didn't seem right. Okay, so Deuteronomy 18:1 through 2020. The Levitical priests, that's the entire tribe of Levi, didn't get any land inheritance with the rest of Israel. They got their fire gift offerings of God. They will live on that inheritance, but they didn't get land inheritance like the rest of the kinsmen. God is their inheritance. This is what the priests get from the people for any offering of an ox or a sheep: the shoulder, the two cheeks, and the stomach. You must also give them the first fruits of your grain, wine, and oil, and the first fleece of your sheep, because God, your God, has chosen all of them and their children out of all your tribes to be present and serve always in the name of God, your God. If a Levite moves from any town into Israel, and he is quite free and he is quite free to move wherever he desires, and comes to the place God designates for worship, he may serve there in the name of God along with all his brother Levites who are present and serving in the presence of God, and he will get an equal share to eat, even though he has money from the sales of his parents' possessions. When you enter the land that God your God is giving you, don't take on the abominable ways of the life of the nations there. Don't you dare sacrifice your son or daughter in the fire. Don't practice divination, divination, sorcery, fortune telling, witchery, casting spells, holding seances, or channeling with the dead. People who do these things are an abomination to God. It's because of just such abominational practices that God, your God, is driving these nations out before you. Be completely loyal to God, your God. These nations that you are about to run out of the country consort with sorcerers and witches, but not you. God, your God, forbids it. God your God is going to raise up a prophet from you. God will raise him from me among your kinsmen, a prophet like me, listening obediently to him. This is what you ask God your God for at Horeb on the day you were all gathered at the mountain and said, "We can't hear any more from God our God. We can't stand seeing any more fire. We'll die." And God said to me, "They're right. They've spoken the truth. I'll raise up from them a prophet like you from their kinsmen. I'll tell him what to say, and he will pass on to them anything I command him. And anyone who won't listen to my words spoken by him, I will personally hold him responsible. But any prophet who fakes it, who claims to speak in my name something I haven't commanded him to say, or speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet must die. You may be wondering among yourselves, how can we tell the difference whether it was God who spoke or not? Here's how. If that prophet spoke in God's name doesn't happen, if that didn't sound right. If what the prophet spoke in God's name doesn't happen, then obviously God wasn't behind it. The prophet made it up. Forget about him. When God your God throws the nations out of the country that God your God is giving you, and you settle down in their cities and houses, you are to set aside three easy, accessible cities in the land that God your God is giving you, and as your very own. Divide your land into thirds, this land that God your God is giving you to possess, and build roads to the towns so that anyone who accidentally kills another can flee there. This is the guideline for the murderer who flees there to take refuge. He has to have killed his neighbor without premeditation. I mean, did we not already do all of this? I swear I already read this. Premeditation with no history of bad blood between them. For instance, a man goes with his neighbor into the woods to cut a tree. He swings the axe, the head slips off the handle and hits his neighbor, killing him. He may then flee to one of these cities and save his life. If the city is too far away, the avenger of blood racing in hot-blooded pursuit might catch him, and since it's such a long distance, and kill him even though he didn't deserve it, it wasn't his fault. There was no history of hatred between them. Therefore, I command you, set aside the three cities for yourselves. When God your God enlarges your land, extended in its borders, and it has solemnly promised your ancestors, by giving you the whole land he promised them, because you are diligently living the way I'm commanding you today, namely to love your God, mainly to love God, your God, and do what he tells you all your life. And when that happens, then add three more of these three cities, so that there is no chance of innocent blood being spilled in your land. God your God is giving you this land as an inheritance. You don't want to pollute it with innocent blood and bring guilt upon yourselves. Other than the hand, if a man with a history of hatred towards his own neighbor waits in ambush, then jumps him, mauls and kills him, and then runs to one of these cities, that's a different story. The elders of his own city are to send for him and have him brought back. They are to hand him over to the avenger of blood and execution. Don't feel sorry for him. Clean out the pollution of wrongful murder from Israel so that you'll be able to live well and breathe clean air. Don't move your neighbor's boundary markers, the long-standing landmarks set up by your pioneer ancestors defining their property. You can't convict anyone of a crime or sin on the word of one witness. You need two or three witnesses to make a case. If a hostile witness stands to accuse someone of a wrong, then both parties involved in the quarrel must stand in the presence of God before the priest and judges who are in an office at the time. The judges must conduct a careful investigation. If the witness turns out to be a false witness and has lied against his fellow Israelites, give him the same medicine he intended for their party. Clean the polluting evil from your company. People will hear of what you've done and be impressed. That will put a stop to this kind of evil among you. Don't feel sorry for the person. It's life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. When you go to war against your enemy and see horses and chariots and soldiers far outnumbering you, do not recoil in fear of them. God, your God, who brought you out of Egypt, is with you. When the battle is about to begin, let the priest come up forward and speak to the troops. He'll say, "Attention, Israel. In a few minutes, you're going to do battle with your enemies. Don't waver in resolve. Don't fear, don't hesitate, don't panic. God, your God, is right there with you, fighting with you against your enemies, fighting to win." Then let the officers step up and speak to the troops. If there is a man here who has built a new house but yet hasn't dedicated it, let him go home right now, lest he die in battle and another man dedicate it. And there is a man here who has planted a vineyard but yet hasn't enjoyed the grapes. Let him go home right now, lest he die in battle and another man enjoy his grapes. Is there a man here who engaged to marry who hasn't yet taken his wife? Let him go home right now, lest he die in battle and another man take her. The officer then will continue. And is there a man here who is wavering in resolve and afraid? Let him go home right now, so that he doesn't infect his fellows with his timidity and cowardly spirits. When the officers have finished speaking to the troops, let them appoint commanders of the troops who shall muster them by units. When you come up against a city to attack it, call out peace. If they answer yes, peace, then and open the city to you, then everyone found there is to be conscripted as forced laborers and work for you. But if they don't settle for peace and insist on war, then go ahead and attack. God, your God, will give them to you. Kill all the men with your swords, but don't kill the women and the children and animals. Everything inside the town you can take as plunder for you to use and eat. God, your God, gives it to you. This is the way you deal with the distant towns, the towns that don't belong to the nations at hand. But with the towns of the people that God your God is giving you as an inheritance, it's different. Don't leave anyone alive. Consign them to holy destruction. The Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Pezerites, Hivites, and Jebusites, obeying the command of God your God. This is so there won't be any of them left to teach you to practice the abominations that they enrage in with their gods, and you end up sinning against your God, your God. When you mount an attack on a town and the siege goes on a long time, don't start cutting down the trees, swinging your axes against them. Those trees are your fortune food. Don't cut them down. Are tree soldiers who can come against you with weapons. The exception can be those trees which don't produce food. You can chop them down and use the timbers to build siege engines against the town that is resisting you until it falls. Detroit. Deuteronomy 18:1 through 20:20. The breakdown is God is setting standards for leadership, guidance, and war. Spiritual order matters. Priests, the Levites, depend on God, not hustle. No counterfeit guidance. Stay away from witchcraft, mediums, and shortcuts. God sends real voices. Prophets speak truth, but false ones get judged. When facing battles, don't fear if God sends you, He backs you. The takeaway says don't chase shortcuts or voices that tickle your ears. Stay aligned with God's truth and walk in battles knowing He's with you. Luke 9:28 through 50. About 8 days after saying this, he, Jesus, climbed the mountain to pray, taking Peter, John, and James. While he was in the prayer, the appearance of his face changed, and his clothes became blinding white. At once, two men were talking with him. They turned out to be Moses and Elijah, and with a glorious appearance they made. And what a glorious appearance they made. They talked over his exodus, the one Jesus was about to complete in Jerusalem. Meanwhile, Peter and those who with him were slumped over in sleep. When they came to, rubbing their eyes, they saw Jesus in his glory and two men standing with him. When Moses and Elijah had left, Peter said to Jesus, Master, this is a great moment. Let's build three memorials, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. He blurted this out without thinking. While he was babbling on like this, a light, radiant cloud enveloped them. As they found themselves buried in the cloud, they became deeply aware of God. Then there was a voice out of the cloud. This is my son, the chosen. Listen to him. When the sound of the voice died away, they saw Jesus there alone. They were speechless. And they continued speechless, so no one thing and said not one thing to anyone during those days of what they had seen. When they came down off the mountain the next day, a big crowd was there to meet them. A man called from out of the crowd, Please, teacher, please, teacher, take a look at my son. He's my only child. Often a spirit seizes him. Suddenly he's screaming, thrown into convulsions, his mouth foaming, and then it beats him black and blue before it leaves. I asked your disciples to deliver him, but they couldn't. Jesus said, What a generation. No sense of God, no focus to your lives. How many times do I have to go over these things? How much longer do I have to put up with this? Bring your son here. While he was coming, the demon slammed him to the ground and threw him into convulsions. Jesus stepped in, ordered the foul spirit gone, healed the boy, and handed him back to his father. They all shook their heads in wonder, astonished at God's greatness, God's majestic greatness. While they continued to stand around, exclaiming over all the things he was doing, Jesus said to his disciples, Treasure and ponder each of these words. The Son of Man is about to be betrayed in human hands. They didn't get what he was saying. It was like he was speaking a foreign language, and they couldn't make heads or tails of it. But they were embarrassed to ask him what he meant. They started arguing over which of them would be most famous. When Jesus realized how much this mattered to them, he brought a child to his side. Whoever accepts this child as if the child were me accepts me, he said, and whoever accepts me accepts the one who sent me. You become great by accepting, not asserting. Your spirit, not your size, make the difference. John spoke up, Master, we saw a man using your name to expel demons, and we stopped him because he wasn't of our group. Jesus said, Don't stop him. If he's not an enemy, he's an ally. The breakdown of Luke 9:28 through 50 says this is about identity, power, and humility. Transfiguration, Jesus reveals his true glory. God says, Listen to him. Disciples fail to cast out a demon. Power requires faith, not just position. Argument about greatness. Jesus flips it great, humble like a child. Don't block others doing good. If they're for God, they're on your team. The takeaway says you don't need status, you need faith and humility. Power in God's kingdom flows through surrender, not ego. Psalm 73, 1 through 28. No doubt about it, God is good, good to good people, good to the good hearted. But I nearly missed it, missed seeing his goodness. I was looking the other way, looking up to the people at the top, envying the wicked who had made it, who've nothing to worry about, not a care in the whole wide world, pretentious and arrogance. They were the latest fashion in violence, pampered and overfed, decked out in silk bows of silliness. They jeer using words to kill. They bully their way with words. They're full of hot air, loud mouths disturbing the peace. People actually listen to them. Can you believe it? Like thirsty puppies, they lay up their words. What's going on here? Is God out to lunch? Nobody's tending the store. The wicked get by with everything. They had it made, piling up riches. I've been stupid to play by the rules. What has it gotten me? A long run of bad luck. That's what a slap in the face every time I walk out the door. If I had given in and talked about this, I would have betrayed your dear children. Still, when I tried to figure it out, all I got was a splitting headache until I entered the sanctuary of God. Then I saw the whole picture, the slippery road you put them on, with a final crash in a ditch of delusion. In the blink of an eye, disaster, a blind curve in the dark, and a nightmare. We wake up and rub our eyes, and nothing. There's nothing more. There's nothing to them, and there never was. When I was beleaguered and bitter, totally consumed by envy, I was totally ignorant, a dumb ox in your very presence. I'm still in your presence, but you've taken my hand, you've wisely and tenderly led me, and then you bless me. You're all I want in heaven. You're all I want on earth. When my skin sags and my bone gets brittle, God is rock firm and faithful. Look, those who left you are falling apart. Deserters, they'll never be heard from again. But I'm in the very presence of God. Oh, how refreshing it is! I've made Lord my oh Lord my God, give me strength. I've made Lord God my home. God, I'm telling the world what you do. The breakdown of Psalm 73, 1 through 28 says, Real talk. Why do bad people seem to win? Thought that myself just a couple of months ago. The writer struggles seeing the wicked prosper. He almost loses faith until he gets in God's presence. Then he realizes their success is temporary, God is eternal. That is what saved me. God is my portion forever. The takeaway: stop comparing what looks like winning without God is actually losing long term. That is winning. Proverbs 12:10. Good people are good to their animals. The good hearted, bad people kick and abuse them. Breakdown of Proverbs 12:10 says, Righteous people show compassion even to animals. Wicked people, even their kindness is twisted. Your character shows in the small things. How you treat what can't benefit you. Excuse me. Your character shows in small things. How you treat what can't benefit you. That is something I live by on the daily. I got a really great gift for my wife for Christmas, and it was a bird feeder. So I had to turn the alerts off because I was getting alerts all the time on my watch and my phone. And I love my birds. I try to feed them every day or make sure they're fed about every 3 or 4 days because they go through it about every 3 or 4 days. And it's the little things that you do for people that can benefit you. Birds don't benefit me. Maybe eat the bugs that are flying around the pool. But guys, if no one told you today, I love you. I appreciate you being on here. If you're not subscribed, please do. We're trying to get the numbers up a little bit, and it is not for me for any certain particular reason. Just like to see more people. Loving the feedback. Joshua, appreciate your feedback. Appreciate you reaching out. And was it Heather that was on here a while back? I hadn't seen from her in a while. So, guys, I love you. I love you. I love you. You have a better than good night, and we will see you tomorrow, April 2nd.